So when you have a unit circle, the unit circle is called the unit circle because it has one attribute that's very important. What do you think is unique about this unit circle? So if I have this distance here is the radius, right? Right here. And it's 0.10. What is the radius of a unit circle?
0.10.
How far over do I go to get to 10? What's the x of that point? When I plot a point, what do? I go left or right, 1.
Yeah.
So what's the radius of that circle?
1.
1.
Oh.
That means that every single one of these lines measures 1.
Should we write that down?
I would think so.
Okay.
Just on notes.
Just on this piece of paper if you want to take other notes, but a unit circle is a circle with radius equal to 1. If it's a unit circle, that's what it is. It's a circle with radius of 1. So that's the first thing you know. Well, then you know that the distance between the center and every edge of the circle is 1. So all of those lines are 1. Every one of them, all the way around the circle. Does that make sense?
I know where it is. I'm good.
That the unit circle is kind of like the center of all mathematics. It's where all of mathematics kind of comes from. A lot of things that comes from here are sine, cosine, tangent. And you're going to also learn about cosecant, secant, and cotangent, which you've never heard about. Triangles come out of this circle. Circles come out of the circle. So it's like a lot of concepts, geometry concepts.
Geometry concepts.
So if I go up to this 60 degree, see this 60 degree right here, and I draw a line straight down, I form a right triangle right here. Everybody see it?
Yeah.
All right. It says the 60 degree angle on that outside, but that's just telling you what angle comes out of the center. Any one of these angles here, 330, 30, 45, 90, all come out of the center. So I'm going to put the 60 right here coming out of the center. Does everybody understand that? Whenever they give you the sine or cosine of 60, it's the one that comes out of the center of the circle. So here's the circle here, and there's your angle. There's your right angle. So we know this is a 30, 60, 90. Got it? Well, to get to this point here, that's the point on the circle, I have to go over 1/2 and up √3/2. The points on the circle is how far right and left and up and down you have to go to get to that point on the circle. So we're going right 1/2 and up √3/2. So those two numbers, especially the √3/2, is not written in decimal form. Okay? Decimals are over for you. Everything we do in trig is in radical form. So if you hate radicals, this is not going to be really good. But you can check your work, and I'll teach you how to check everything on the calculator, okay? So everybody get your calculators out. Now you're going to type in your calculator cosine of 60, and you should get that it's 1/2 or 0.5. Everybody there? Now you're going to type in sine of 60, and it should give you 0.8660. Everybody there?
Yeah.
I want you to put this number in your calculator and turn it into a decimal. Square root of 3/2. Square root of 3/2. And it should give you this same ugly decimal. So we can conclude that for every angle in the unit circle, this first number is the cosine of that angle. That second number is the sine of that angle. And the way I remember it is that it's in alphabetical order. Cosine first, sine second. Let's change color. This degree here is 30 degrees, right? Because it comes out of the center. What is the cosine of 30? It should be 0.8660. because that's the first number. What is the sine of 30? It should be 0.5 because it's the second number. So what have we learned so far? We've learned that the unit circle is a circle with a radius of 1. We've learned that the point on the circle, the first number is the
Right.
cosine. The second number is the sine. I like to put the triangle where it goes in the unit circle because location matters now. When you took geometry with me, it's not that I was holding information back, but I neglected to tell you that in pre-cal, location matters. So what quadrant you're in tells you some stuff about those angles, okay? And when you were in in geometry, we just did normal triangles and they were all in the first quadrant. But now we're going to move things. Things are in different quadrants. And that's used for aviation and all kinds of stuff because location matters. If they tell you to turn 30 degrees in a plane and you go in the wrong direction, you could hit another plane, okay? So location matters. 30 degrees in what direction? Northeast, north, where do you need to go, okay? So here we have 60. Remember the point here was 1/2 root 3 over 2. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
We know that this side is 1/2 and this side is root 3 over 2. Okay? That's the sine and the cosine of those angles. Why is that? I know you all remember SOHCAHTOA.
Not really.
Is that some old hippie taught another?
Well, you remember that part, but
Should one ask?
yeah, now you got to remember what it all means. So the sine of an angle,
Some old hippie
so
taught
sine of 60 equals opposite over hypotenuse. What's the hypotenuse of this circle, of this triangle? What's the hypotenuse?
one on the top bottom.
Yeah, what is it? What does it measure? If it's the distance between the center and the edge of the circle, what does it measure?
Diameter.
What did we say the radius of a unit circle is?
1.
We know this is 1, right? So it's the sine of 60 is root 3 over 2 over 1, which is root 3 over 2. And that's what we said the sine was, the second number. The cosine of 60 is adjacent, which is 1/2 over hypotenuse, which is 1/2. So we're going to use that rule. Tangent of an angle equals sine of an angle over cosine of an angle. What is the sine of the tangent of 60? That means the tangent of 60 equals, what's the sine of 60?
That one, right? The
Root 3 over 2. And what's the cosine of 60?
1/2.
Yep. When you're dividing fractions, it's the same as root 3 over 2 times the reciprocal. These two bite the dust, and we get that the tangent of 60 is root 3. On your main unit circle, you can write that in your notes, but on your main unit circle, I want you to write the tangent next to 60. I want you to write a root 3 next to that pair. Everybody write a root 3 up there.
Where?
This will give you the cosine of 60, the sine of 60, and now you have the tangent of 60. Okay? Your homework tonight is to put all the tangents down, but I'm going to help you through that. So don't do anything now. We know now that the tangent of 60 is root 3. Everybody put it right up there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Find me another point that starts with 1/2 and has a root 3 over 2 next to it. Next to what angle is there another one? 30 is the opposite direction. Find that 1/2 has to be first. 1/2 has to be first. There's 3 of them. Yep.
1/2 negative
Bottom
square
right
root of
one.
3 over 2.
All right, so it's right here.
Yes.
Okay. That would be the cosine and sine of 300. You see that?
Yes.
So what is the tangent of that guy? If the tangent of this guy, the 60 is root 3, what is the tangent of that guy? If it's sine over cosine. What happens when you have a negative over a positive? It's what? Negative root 3. What happens over here? This one. A negative over a negative. Positive root 3. And what happens right up here? Negative and a positive, so it's a negative root 3. Do you see how you have your tangents now on those 4 angles? So when we find the 4 corners, root 2 over 2 over root 2 over 2 equals 1. So the tangent of 45 is 1. The tangent of 135 is negative 1. The tangent of 225 is positive 1 because a negative over a negative is a positive. Got it? And the tangent of 315 is what? Down here. Negative 1. So now we have those 2 done. And let's find the tangent of 30. If I'm drawing a 30-degree angle, it looks like this, right? In the unit circle. The 30 comes out of here. This side here is root 3 over 2, and it's 1/2. Isn't the point root 3 over 2 1/2? And we know the radius is 1. You got it? So if I want to know the tangent of 30 degrees, it's the sine of 30, which is the second guy, over the cosine of 30, which is the third guy. This is a little bit harder. When you divide fractions, you have 1/2, keep, change, flip. Do you remember that? 5th grade?
Yeah.
All right. So these 2 bite the dust, and we have 1 over root 3. Do we leave a radical in the basement?
No.
Never. Do you remember how to get rid of a radical in the
Turn into
basement?
a negative.
No, you do not.
You get rid of the little thingy.
You multiply by root 3 over root 3. What is root 3 over root 3? 1. You're not changing the value, you're changing the look. Okay? It's like when we get a manicure. We're not changing the value, we're changing the look. So we got 3, and what's root 3 times root 3?
1.
Ah! So the tangent of anything that starts off with root 3 over 2, comma 1/2 is going to be root 3 over 3. But around the circle, they're either going to be negative or positive depending on your sign. So write it on your sign.
How do I do that?
Now we're looking at these 4, the 4 that I'm underlining. You see them? They're all root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, but some are negative, some are positive, correct?
Yes.
Well, if the tangent is sine over cosine, they're all going to be root 2 over 2 over root 2 over 2, but the signs are going to be different, right? If they're both positive, what's that equal to? Positive 1. If they're a negative and a positive, it's a negative 1. You see this now? 1 and negative 1. It's getting a little clearer. So we have the 30s, we have the 60s, and we have the 45s, right? So now we just need these guys. Those 2, 90 and 270, and 0 and 180. Got it? So let's start with the 0 and the 0. We've got a 0 is the sine over cosine. What's 0 over 1?
0. Undefined.
Nope.
0.
0. This guy's going to be 0 over negative 1. What's that equal to?
Negative. 0.
0. This one's going to be 1 over 0.
Undefined.
That one's undefined. And this is going to be negative 1 over 0. That's also undefined. Root 3 over 3.
Yeah.
What is 60 degrees? Plain root 3. Yep. We know that's undefined. What is 120 degrees? Right here. Negative root 3. And what is 150 degrees? Right here. Right here. What is it?
Oh.
Negative root 3 over 3.
Okay. Then we got a 0. What is 210? Right here.
Root 3 over 3.
And what is 240? Right here.
Root 3.
Plain root 3. What is 300? Right there.
Negative root 3.
And what is this guy here?
Negative root 3 over 3.
So if you have all that correct, you can use that unit circle on your tests.